Greetings from your movie host Sudip Bhaduri on the Big Barton Film Show every week, repeated on regular occasions, and now you can see the programme on YouTube in several segments, including trailers and posters. The year in question this week, with cinemas still in lockdown, is 1997. So step back in my time machine to that year. What a belter of a year that was for movies. In the news that year, Richard Branson's attempt to fly the world in his balloon came to a premature end in the Algerian desert. Do you remember Swampy, the underground anti-road protester in Devon? Channel 5 was launched this year. Tony Blair became Prime Minister, beating John Major in a landslide victory. Katrina and the Waves won the Eurovision for the UK. Now there's a surprise. For Love Shine a Light, the last UK winner, and since then it's been nil point. Sadly this year, of course, the big headlines that Princess Di, the Princess of Wales, died in a car crash in Paris. The funeral in September was arranged. It was a national memorial after much public protest, and the Queen described 1997 as her annus horribilis. She was under pressure to produce the goods for the public. There was no more UK rule in Hong Kong from July the 1st, and Mother Teresa, who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979, died at a very grand age. As mentioned, the cinema had some absolute brilliant movies. One of the most memorable, of course, will be coming up in my segment of the Big Film Show. Brad Pitt was on wonderful set locations in 7 years in Tibet. That was memorable. Pierce Brosnan teamed up with Hong Kong superstar Michelle Yeoh for his second outing as 007 in Tomorrow Never Dies. Nicolas Cage was federal prisoner Cameron Poe, trying to save the day in the oh-so-hokum actioner from hokum specialist Michael Bay in Con Air. Scream was the perfect return for slasher horror master Wes Craven, and poor old Drew Barrymore met her fate in the first 20 minutes. It was Travolta against Cage in the John Woo action-adventure Face Off. RoboCop director Paul Verhoeven was back in brutal form in the science fiction horror Starship Troopers. Forget the script, just enjoy the superb special effects. Marky Mark Wahlberg made his major breakthrough as Dirk Diggler in Boogie Nights, made by Paul W. Anderson. So what about my choices for the top films of 1997? I had to make a joint third. I was spoilt for choice. In joint third, Full Monty, one of the best British comedies ever made on these shores. Director was Peter Cataneo, starring Robert Carlyle, Tom Wilkinson, and some hard-done-by guys in Sheffield on the breadline, having lost their jobs, try to raise money. And this is straight from the heart with a huge smile. They have to go into male stripping, having seen the Chippendales in action, but they will go a step further and provide the Full Monty. The Lunchbox landed in 1997. The film's all about regaining respect and a superb soundtrack with great disco numbers from the 70s. Also in joint third, As Good As It Gets, starring Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt, together with Greg Kinnear. So a man with long-term OCD, totally malcontent with life, and is drawn into the lives of his favourite waitress and his gay next-door neighbour with a cute dog, and gradually he begins to appreciate humanity. Bittersweet comedy with Nicholson and Hunt in top form and gaining Oscars the following year. In number 2, LA Confidential. In my opinion, one of the all-time great police dramas made by Curtis Hanson, written by Brian Helgeland and Hanson. All-star cast including Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce, Kevin Spacey and Kim Basinger. The paths of 3 cops will all meet head-on as they discover a long history of police corruption in Hollywood after the arrest of 3 black youths. Oscars for Kim Basinger, and the screenplay writers Hansen and Helgeland. A very compelling drama, and this propelled Crowe and Pearce into stellar heights. But my number one film of 97 has to be, just has to be, Titanic. A masterpiece from James Cameron, and it beat Ben-Hur to the number of Academy Awards won. Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio made their mark on the film world. We all know about the story of the ill-fated trip from Liverpool to New York on that famous liner. That ship could have been saved if the memos were heeded. And taking aside the so-called love triangle, which was quite flimsy, the special effects are truly spectacular. Only Cameron could have carried this off. Winslet and Leo play the doomed lovers pretty capably despite the shortcomings, but Titanic is memorable in more ways than one. My film of the year in 1997 is that fateful ship.